check. That sounds a lot better. Alrighty, we'll just start this one again. Sunday at the Penrite Oil Sandown 500 in the books, and a classic Sandown race this afternoon. It sure was, and the rain looking like starting to fall again outside, but no raining on Broc Feeney's parade today. Back on top of the podium with the race win, Anton De Pasquale back on the podium himself, and Will Brown doing what Will Brown seems to be doing best at the moment, and charged through the field to claim another trophy. Broc, you said after the Gold Coast, after a couple second place finishes, it was good, not great. Today seemed like it was a pretty great result.
Yeah, stoked to walk away with the win today. I think it's a really important time of the year to get a victory, and to be honest, just to stop Chaz winning at the moment. So he would have been feeling pretty good about himself, I think, if he'd won 4 in a row heading into the grand final. So an important day. Wanted to lead the championship going into Adelaide, and first things first, wanted to be in the 4 come Adelaide. So yeah, was pretty disappointed yesterday not to have the car speed to fight for the win. We put ourselves in a decent position, but yeah, to get pole today and run up front all day and you know, get another win at this point of the year is extremely important, probably one of the most important of the year so far. So stoked to be in the final at Adelaide, and yeah, chuffed to get another win today.
It's probably a bit more smooth sailing for you than some of the others being at the front, but we always talk about the track surfaces here making it tricky, but then the conditions throw a whole nother curveball, and it started dry, went wet, came back dry. How was it behind the wheel?
Yeah, it was very interesting. I mean, obviously, we experienced all the Melbourne weather today, and, you know, at the start, you got Anton, who's, you know, he's not in the finals now, wants to go and get a win. I have Chaz, who's also locked in already. It's the first time I've probably actually thought about the finals. Like, if I spear this thing off the road, I'm not going to Adelaide. So it was just about sort of managing it for the first part of the race, and yeah, I think the 3 of us in the wet were probably the quickest on track, and me and Anton were able to gap the rest of the field. So me and him sort of just drove around all day, about a second or 2 apart for most of it, and just tried to manage it, driving within my limits. But yeah, you certainly have plenty of moments out there, like had quite a few scares, but yeah, that's Sandown. You can expect all this stuff when you come here. So as I said, you know, to get all that thrown at us today, qualifying this morning, you know, we were 15th in the first one. We weren't far from getting knocked out. To then go on and get pole in those tricky conditions, and then everything that happened in the race. Yeah, stoked to keep it clean, have another great run today, and as I said, get another win.
For the bulk of this season, you've been the man to beat. It's been hard to believe that it's been 3 months since you've won a race, but you really seem to have stamped yourself as back on top. How much of a confidence boost is that going into the grand final in a couple weeks?
Yeah, it's hugely important. You know, it's not the fact that it's been a couple of months. Like, I know I can still win races, but it's just such an important time of the year. And as I said, Chaz and his team have been doing a fantastic job, and they rolled out this weekend and Anton as the quickest guys, and we rolled around in 20th for all the practice. So we were on the back foot at the start of this weekend. So to come back and win with good pace is very confidence inspiring, but you know, it's just great to get another win. Bit of momentum back on our side, as I said, and to be honest, just to stop him getting another one. So it's good to be able to pull away from him today.
Well, congratulations. I'll throw a question as well to the man to your right between you and your teammate, Martin Short, race engineer. But you guys have been on fire this year. I'm sure it's a good confidence boost and a relief to get back on the top step of the podium. You guys wrapped up the team's championship yesterday as well at 888, and you have 2 cars in the finals going to Adelaide. So what's the mood like and the morale at Red Bull Empire Racing?
Yeah, it's pretty ecstatic after the race. I think a huge relief as well to get both cars in. It was a hectic weekend, like everything kind of threw itself at us. And there was so much pressure just the whole weekend. This finals format's really made everything really high pressure and very tense. So yeah, just glad to get the weekend done, and finish on top was awesome. So yeah, really proud.
You guys have been clicking along very, very well in 2025. Congratulations, and we'll see you in a couple of weeks. Anton, back on the podium, another trophy for you guys, Team 18. It's been a really strong season, it seems like, when you've been at your peak this year.
Yeah, it's good to be back on the podium in what was an exciting, sort of fun, intense race. So to come out the other side of that and to be fast all day and most of the weekends is good for us. We wanted to do that here, sort of the goal for the rest of the year, not being in the finals anymore. So keep moving forward, showing sort of speed and sort of knocking on some of the issues that we have on the head before we end the year and get to next year. So doing that, and we're learning every day. So today was good and I had a fun race with Broc. And yeah, it's good.
You talk about not being in the finals, which I'm sure is a frustrating thing from that side of the competition side. But a lot of the guys who've been at the front and towards the front all year talking about going and getting race wins, and we're just talking to the side saying how close you are to that first win with Team 18. How important is it to try to get that done over the next couple of weeks?
Yeah, it's always important, but I think we're showing that we can be towards the front most weekends, which is really important, and we're going to every track together for the first time, so we're learning as we go as well. So next year when we go back to everywhere again, we've got to, and we start from a better base and we understand what we're doing a bit better. Obviously I think we had a good car today, probably not quite as good at the back end of the dry stint, but yeah, it would have been good if I didn't give the lead back to Broc and see where we shaped out, but those guys I think were a little bit too quick, but I don't really know. So it would have been good if I could have come out in the dry in front and had a crack at it, but unfortunately had a massive lock-up and lost the lead.
Well, very impressive weekend nonetheless, from Friday all the way through to Sunday, so congratulations to you. And that probably leads into Charlie Swercott, team owner. Congratulations to the whole squad on this one. It does seem like Team 18 is starting to really turn a corner as a program and being at the front, getting more consistent runs on the board. Would you feel to say the same?
Yeah, no, look, thank you. We had a pretty solid weekend. It was really good, and really proud of Anton where he raced today. It was good. There's a couple of media out, or there's one media out here that says we're a little bit unproven, yes, but I think after, the season where we've had, I think we've had 4 podiums and a pole and all that sort of stuff. It's been a pretty good year. So, yeah, really proud of the team, and we've got to step up, obviously, the Chev homologation team for next year. So we've got a lot to do, and long way to go still, but we're getting there.
You guys are a local team down here. Is it feel particularly better to get a win effectively on home soil just around the corner from Waverley?
Yeah, it is a little bit, but I was relying on Anton's dad to check the weather out. He's a farmer and looking up at the sky and see what's going on. But, yeah, it's great to get a win here for sure, our home track here. And I don't think there's any advantage, though. But, yeah, no, it's really special.
It's very good to see as well. Everybody happy for you. But
thank you.
Everybody impressed by third place today in Will Brown. Boys, same story as yesterday. Qualifying not going to plan. Race certainly going a lot better. How'd you do it?
Had a fast car. That was pretty much it. We were extremely good in the wet. We were probably similar pace to these guys here, but we're just able to carve our way through the field. And then, I think we're about 10 seconds off those guys. But yeah, the wet pace, I was sort of like, oh yeah, I'm 17th, I'm 10th, I'm 9th, I'm 8th. Oh, we might be on here. And then got up to third. We probably pitted 1 or 2 laps maybe late. Then a couple of other guys just seemed to undercut us a little bit with the I guess the slick tyre, and Chaz and I think even Brody and Matt or some of those, Cam got back past. But yeah, overall it was it was a great race. It was good to get back to the podium. I didn't think that was probably possible today. So to get a podium was fantastic, and obviously takes us through to the top 4.
Yeah, very much it does. I'll get to that in a minute. You probably get sick of being asked this one, but any idea what's missing in qualifying? And obviously the results are the results at the end of the day when you get the trophy, but I'm sure it'd make your life a bit easier if you're starting towards the front.
Yeah, a bit of speed's missing, I guess. Like, that's at the end of the day. Like I said the exact same thing yesterday. If we knew, we'd do a better job. I think between myself and a couple of decisions in the team, we probably didn't put our best foot forward today. We just got the qualifying format wrong. We went out on wets in the top 18 where everyone else went out on slicks, and then we tried going to slicks and then did too many laps there on the used and then put a green tyre on too late. So we just sort of got that wrong. I felt like we did have a car good enough to be in the top 10 today, where yesterday, we just didn't have the pace. Where today I think we did, but we just didn't get the phasing right.
Well, it's the race that pays the points, so you seem to be doing that all right. Like you said, going to Adelaide in the top 4. Last time we went there went pretty all right for you, so how are you feeling heading to the grand final?
Yeah, feeling good heading into Adelaide. To be honest, those races sort of felt like wins to us on our side of the garage to drive up from where we were and have the pace we were. We take a lot of confidence going into Adelaide, and I think at the end of the day, a lot of people sort of can't count us out no matter where we qualify right now. I think qualifying 15th and 17th, if that was any other car this weekend, I think they may have struggled to actually get in the 4, but we just had really good race pace.
Another impressive drive, and we're looking forward to seeing you going for a back-to-back in Adelaide. I'll open up to the journalists in the room now.
Broc, I guess to start, Chaz didn't seem to be too phased about whether he was top seed or not. He said today he felt it was more important to learn for Adelaide than to be the top seed, but you obviously do think it is important to be the top seed going into Adelaide?
Yeah, of course. Like, why wouldn't you take more points to start the biggest round of the season? So it's a pretty interesting comment. Yeah, you want to start as a leader. Like, the bonus points at Gold Coast were really important, which kept me in the lead coming into this round. And yeah, to go in as a leader, it's just a free kick. So look, there's 3 races. There's a lot of points on offer over the weekend. At the end of the day, if you go out and win 3 races, it probably doesn't matter if you're first or fourth. You'll probably win the championship. So yeah, I think important thing at Adelaide is to have a fast car and go and win as many races as you can. You'll probably win the championship. But if you can have a free kick to start off, yeah, it's pretty important.
Marty, you guys are going to be the only one with 2 in the race. Could potentially be, like an awkward, is it a good thing? Is it an awkward thing in a way? Of course, it's a good thing to have 2 cars in the race, but is that going to be something you guys are going to have to work out how to manage that situation?
Yeah, I think it's a strength of ours that we've got 2 cars in the finals. Gives us obviously a better chance of winning the championship. So obviously it does come at some downfalls with Pitt only sharing one boom and stuff. So yeah, it does make it hard in that sense. But I think it's great to have 2 cars in the final, and we're both battling for a championship. So I think the best man will win.
Great answer. Yeah.
Good job. Just another one for you, Marty. I guess we don't get to speak to you too often, but for you as well as Broc, I mean, your progression has been, I guess, linear to Broc's. I think you came in first year 2022 as a race engineer, if I remember correctly, and there's a chance for you to win a championship too. You're, AE has won a couple, I think, and so obviously a really cool moment for you going to Adelaide.
Yeah, absolutely. Super proud to have worked with Broc most of my race engineering career. Started with him in Super 2 and we won the championship together. Then moved up together, kind of graduated to Supercars. So super proud of how we've progressed each year. We've got better and better. Hopefully we can win the grand final together. So that's our goal.
Charlie, is it hard not to have a little bit of a what if? What if Anton had got just enough points or whatever at the Gold Coast, and you might have, given how good you guys were here this weekend, what if you had got through?
Yeah, for sure. What if could have been? We finishing an 8th and a 2nd at this weekend. I would have thought, I haven't done the numbers, but I would have thought we would have been in the finals, which would have been fantastic. His first year, and it would have been amazing. Ironically, we put Courtney in the fence and sort of, but he's here with us next year, and it's a real shame, but he deserves to be in there, and it would have been great. But anyway, we'll have to do it all again next year.
Do you guys care who wins the championship? I guess, do you want to see Triple 8 as the Chev team win the championship, or you don't care who wins?
No, definitely a Chev. Got to be a Chev for sure. That's, we're the Chev homologation team next year, and we want a Chev to win. They will go out in style, and I hope they can for sure. Great for the brand, great for General Motors, so yeah.
Will, you had some exciting moments out there with Cam Waters. Take us through the moment there at turn 2 and your thoughts on him getting a penalty for it. Yeah,
it was an interesting one. I knew Cam was going to be racing hard. He had to win, or he had to, pretty much have me and Payne DNF or something. I don't know. It was sort of skewed against him going into today, that it was going to be hard to do. And came out of the pits. He was putting pressure on me straight away, and I saw him put his nose up the inside. He wasn't actually there kind of to make the pass happen, but he just had his nose alongside my rear bar, and we made a tiny bit of contact, and I just ran through because I knew if I turned in I was going to get turned around, so I just kept on going straight through. But I don't know, I felt like I opted to avoid a crash there, but is it worth a 5-second penalty? I'm not sure. I think at the end of the day is that he did gain one position, but 5 seconds is a fair bit out there, so I'm not sure exactly what was best. I'd have to watch it back better, but don't know.
He races pretty hard. Is it a relief that he's not one of the contenders in the grand final?
Oh, I think, it's always going to be a relief. I think it's a relief that some of the guys that are obviously extremely fast. I think it's a relief that Ryan Wood's not in there, that Cam's not in there, Brody Kostecki's not in there. They're all guys that would be very fast at Adelaide and still will be very fast at Adelaide. I'm sure Anton will be very fast as well, but I think they're guys that race hard and could definitely come out as a car that wins that weekend. I think our biggest threat right now is obviously Chaz. Chaz was extremely fast there last year. He's always fast at Adelaide. So there's guys that you definitely want to get through. And like I say, Kai could shock us, but probably for us, we're probably happy Kai got through.
And I guess by the same token, Will, how much of a relief is it for you to actually make it? That's obviously the expectation driving for the team that you do, but it wasn't easy.
No, it was a massive relief. It wasn't easy at all. We were starting off 17th and 15th. Anything can happen from there. You can crash. Like I said, I think a lot of other cars would have struggled to drive through from there. We saw Randall qualify 23rd, and I think he got to 16th or 17th. But in day one, we were lucky we had a very fast car to make it happen. But we've got to improve. I don't think we can win the championship if we qualify where we've been qualifying. So we have to do a lot of work, and like I said, I did a lot of work and a lot of sim time and all of that between Gold Coast and Adelaide, and it didn't make me any faster in qualifying, so I might go up to Hamilton Island and just drink beers and see if that works, but I'm not sure just yet.
And to Broc and Anton, it was sort of a bizarre pre-race there with all that oil dried down, obviously a delayed start. How were you guys feeling through that period, knowing you were starting off the front row and about to spear through whatever was on the tracks, maybe starting with you, Broc?
Yeah, well, I nearly speared off at turn 6 on the first lap, so Beto came down to us on the grid and wanted to speak to us and get our thoughts. And yeah, to be honest, I got pretty loose on the outlap crossing over it at the last corner, and they sort of floated the idea of maybe a safety car start, which, yeah, it's not great for TV, but maybe it's good to try and spread it out. But look, we all got through it fine, so it's good in that sense. But yeah, it's not ideal to start one of your biggest races of the year with the track covered in oil. I don't know if we can. Oh, mate's crashing into the bin. I don't know. We need to try and find a better solution to fixing it. I mean, that's a one-off, like the amount of oil that went down, but what they're spreading over the track just wasn't doing it. And it's a mixture of water as well. Like it was tricky out there. As I said, nearly speared off on the first lap, but we all survived, so that's the main thing. But ideally, we've seen it at Perth this year. The cleanup didn't suffice what it was. We need to try and get a little bit better solution if we can.
Anton?
Yeah, it was pretty sketchy for probably 2 or 3 laps till obviously everyone ran through it and then it cleared up. But you could see it coming off Broc's car pretty aggressively when he rolled down into it for the first time. So where I was, it was a lot easier than where he was because I could see what was going to happen. But yeah, it's what do you do? I guess it's really difficult. But it did clear up pretty quick, so that's good. And then I don't know. It's really hard when obviously you have categories before and stuff. Things are going to happen. So I don't think you can change the world based off sort of one of these incidents. Maybe just, chuck a few more cars out there earlier. What do you do, really?
And Charlie, congrats on the podium. Thanks for waiting 6 seconds before giving me a clip in your first answer. That was nice. Do you feel like you've got all the pieces now to go and actually challenge for the championship next year?
Well, yes, I was nearly going to be smart, but I won't, Stefan. But we are, I think, a proven team. But yeah, we've still got a long way to go. Dave's got to, get up there a little bit more and all that sort of stuff. We've got to help him get up there for next year. But all the ingredients are there. It's, as I said before, it's going to be a big challenge getting up to where these guys are and be the lead GM team, which we should be, and hopefully we are. But it's certainly moving in the right direction for sure.
Thanks.
Broc, I think there was some fairly robust racing out there today. Some of it which, the stewards let go. Obviously that incident with Cam, they pulled up. I guess how much are you expecting of that, aggressive racing to be out there in Adelaide, and how much as well do you want the stewards to let it play out on the field, on the track?
Yeah, I haven't really seen too much. I saw a couple of replays of Cam and Will and that. So, yeah, I need to look back at it and watch it and sort of see what they are and aren't letting go. Look, what you don't want is someone, if it's a teammate or someone out of the finals, turfing someone that is in the finals. I don't think you're gonna see that, but you expect hard racing. Like, you don't want to be treated any different to the others, but you'd hate to see a teammate or something like that bowling it in and trying to take you out. But look, I think the 4 guys in there, I think we're going to race hard. We're going to try and all race fair. And yeah, there's still 24 other guys in the race who are going to still try and win. So we got to respect that. But yeah, hopefully it's nice and clean and good hard racing.
Are you guys at a bit of a disadvantage, with the 2 of you out there? You don't have someone like being able to put up a defensive performance like Woody did for Chaz the other day.
Yeah, I mean, as I said, the goal for the team, like every team wants to be in the position that we're in. They might say it's great that they've only got 1 in because they've got a second gunner, but every team's goal is to have 2 cars in the championship fight. It gives us a better chance at winning the championship. So for us, the cool thing's going to be we're both going to be going there to win races and win the championship. So look, hopefully we can both be out front 1 and 2, and then the fastest guy will win the championship. But there's a lot of work that we've got to do to make sure we do that. The last couple of rounds, we haven't rolled out, as the fastest cars. We've sort of had to work our way through over the weekend. So, yeah, we've swapped to this format. It's obviously different to NASCAR, where they all get their own boom. Hopefully we don't see it affect, us, but it is what it is. You got to get on with it.
Broc, obviously Payne for a lot of the season's been your closest rival.
Yep.
Are you relieved that he's not going to be in it, or that's not going to affect your mindset at all?
Yeah, it's very easy to look at, certain people and go, oh, I wish they were in or I wish they weren't in. But, man, like, Kai's in there for a reason. No one, or not many people probably, well, he can thank me, actually, because I got him through to the final on the last lap at Bathurst, so he can thank me for that. But no one expected him to get through Gold Coast. No one expected him to get through here. The bloke could bloody go and win the championship, Like, we got to be realistic about that. So, yeah, Cam and Matt have won at Adelaide the last couple of years. They're both extremely fast there. I got no doubt Kai's going to be running up the front. So we've got our hands full with the 4 that are in there, or the 3 others that are in there. So, yeah, I'm not writing Kai off by any means. I think everyone that was in the finals has a chance of winning a race at Adelaide. So, yeah, we'll just do our thing, focus on ourselves, try and win some races, and whoever it will be we're going against, it will be.
Yeah, Anton, Charlie touched on it before, and you brought it up on Friday after the practice pace. Considering the results of this weekend, does the finals what if burn a bit more now, or?
Not really. It hurts the most when it happens, probably, but yeah, it is what it is. I don't, we didn't win today anyway, so I haven't looked at all that, and I'm not going to look at it. But for us, we're just using it as an opportunity to improve ourselves before we have another crack next year.
And just one for all 3 if you want. The event was obviously called the Sandown 500, but it wasn't the 500 that we all know. Would you prefer it to be a different name next year, or it doesn't really matter?
You still call the Gold Coast 500 the Gold Coast 500, so it's a 500k event. Adelaide 500, still the Adelaide 500. I just wish it was still an Enduro event.
I think Gold Coast was
Gold Coast 600, yeah.
You still call it the Gold Coast 500 though? You do 500k, but it should be an Enduro.
I think I would like an Enduro. I agree with Broc.
Bring it back.
Bring back the Enduro.
And Gold Coast 600 while we're at it. Let's bring that back too.
And Retro Round, I think it was
and
cool.
Internationals, bring those guys back.
Enduro at Coe races.
Yep.
Co-drive race at the
co-driver
grid for
races.
the grand final.
Maybe at Adelaide.
Yeah.
Co-drivers qualify. That'll be good.
At Adelaide for the grand final.
Yeah, Coe's qualified.
You might qualify, Marty.
Yeah.
Question for Anton. Anton, congrats on the whole weekend, really. Third in quali yesterday, second in quali today, and a fantastic runner-up finish today. Was this that mistake going into turn 1, running wide, that opened the door there for Broc. Had that not occurred, do you think you would have been able to hold him off?
Sort of touched on that earlier. I don't know, and I honestly don't think so. They saw the pace Will could catch me, and I think Broc was managing it, but Will could catch me pretty easy. Obviously, I was looking after a little bit as well, but I would have liked to find out and have a go at it. Obviously, if we come out in the lead or could hold the lead through the wet, like there's so much that goes on, you don't really know. But I mean, yeah, have a go, but I don't think we had, I didn't have the pace to roll up on him and pass him or anything, so who knows? I honestly don't think we had the tyre life that they did today to do it, but would have liked to find out.
Yeah. And one for you, Broc. Congrats on the win today. That's 13 wins on the season, 17 poles. Any other year, the title race would be over by now, but as we know, we've got the finals coming up, the grand final in a couple of weeks from now. You did bring up Kai Allen before, 5 podiums for the season, however, yet to win a race in his career. Still only his debut season, though. With the readjusted points now, he trails you by 35 points going into the final race weekend of the season. We did see today some of the contenders taking each other out of contention. If yourself, Will and Chaz get involved in any incidents and Kai ends up doing a Stephen Bradbury and coming out on top, how would you feel about someone perhaps that hasn't won a race all year winning the title, considering how dominant you've been?
Yeah, good question. Very in depth. Certainly not thinking about that. He's in the Final Four for a reason, Hasn't been the fastest guy week in, week out, but he's done a great job to, stay out of trouble. He's qualified up the front and he's stayed out of trouble. Probably not many would have picked him to be in the Final Four. Congrats to him. To be honest, congrats to the Groves on taking, I don't even think it's a punt on him. He probably got passed up last year and he's come out and made the Final Four. So I think it's awesome. The young kids are going so well. Barry's been a huge one for that and brought Will and Brody through. He had eyes on me as well when I was growing up. Anton. And, to see what the young kids are doing these days, you got to be mad not to, to believe in a few of them. So congrats to Kai. But yeah, we want to go out and
just a final one to finish up. We've still got one more event to go. How do you feel about the finals format? Is there any adjustments that you'd like to maybe see in the years ahead?
Look, I think it's exciting for TV. There's a lot to talk about, as you said. I don't know the points, but I think we'd be close to wrapping it up by now. If it was normal, I'd obviously be happy to have it like that. Shows who's the best over the season, like every other motorsport sort of category around the world. But I can't deny the fact that it's exciting. I was very excited actually coming into this week, thinking who was going to leave out of the 4. The only, I don't want to sound biased because of the position that I'm in, but I think maybe the regular season champion should maybe get a little bit more of a leg up. I think, it probably would have been pretty disappointing if I had some sort of a failure to not even make it through the first round of finals. I think, can't speak for everyone, but, you could win every single race of the year and have a bad race at Gold Coast and not make it through, which I think would be a little bit disappointing. But there's plenty to think about. I think the entertainment factor is awesome. You can ask me that in about 10 days' time, and I'll tell you if I love it or hate it.
I think we'll finish up on that. Congratulations, guys. Sandown 500 in the books. We'll see you at the BP Adelaide Grand Final in a couple weeks.